We are back. It's been a few days since we've been live. The desk is ultra cluttered because I am preparing. What's up, Nice Racing? I saw your latest video with your Jeremy Clements diecast. They looked very good, and I can't wait to see what you can do with water slide decals. I'm excited about that. Is the audio good? Are we good on everything? Music levels okay, background all right, everything good? All right, looking good, sounding good. I might try adjusting the gain just a little bit, turning that down just a tiny bit. I'm not, well, yeah, I don't remember if you were here the last time we worked on it. I think you were. I didn't get this one finished, but this was the one that I made for myself a long time ago. Don't even, yes, no, I don't do airplanes. I do not. That is not part of my repertoire. But yeah, so last time we started decaling this car, and I never got to finishing it. So this, I guess, episode, this live stream, whatever you guys want to call it, I am going to be finishing up this white car that has my name on it, and then maybe getting into some of Cody's cars. I haven't really decided yet, but yeah. So anyway, getting my water slide decals tomorrow. I'll be back. Okay, all right, yeah. Well, I'll be here for a while, so I'm excited for you about the water slide decals. I think that's pretty exciting. That's pretty cool. No airplanes. No airplanes. Let me just check something real quick. Alright, I think the audio is alright. I think we're okay. What up, Darbliz? Thanks for joining. Appreciate you. I remembered to turn my light on this time. Oh, you know what? I don't have a poll question. What should my poll question be? I got it. Okay, so you can type instead of yes or no. Okay, so let me think. It doesn't have to be a yes or no question. Let me think. Hold on, I'm gonna come up with something. Give me a second. I'm gonna come up with something that is not really controversial, but is a hot topic. All right, I'll come up with something. What's a good poll question? Man, I don't know. All right, I got it. All right, we got that versus that. Ask a question. don't even think we have to ask a question. All right. See if that's... All right. The poll is live. It's out there. Take a look at it. See what you guys think. I'm interested. West Ham takes the lead 1-0. They played today, so that's why I thought of that. All right, so hopefully my computer doesn't. We're still on the edge. One of these days I'm gonna get a new one. Probably not until I'm monetized. That's a good goal. Set monetization as my goal to get a new computer, or use that to do that. I like that. I gotta make tomorrow's video. I don't have a video ready for tomorrow. Well, that's something. I gotta do that. I guess it's gonna be a long night for me. Oh well. It is what it is. So anyway, as you can see, desk is very cluttered. Should I tweet this out? Maybe I'll tweet it out. Give me a second. While we're waiting, I'll throw that over there so you guys can see what we're working on. I do a really bad job of marketing myself on this channel. I need a social media I need a social media manager. All right. All right. All right. So anyway, West Ham's up 2-0. 2-0 to the West Ham. All right. All right. So we'll go back to here. All right. Now that we just wasted a bunch of everybody's time. Ugh, down to one viewer. Ain't nobody wants to be in. Oh, you know what? I probably should have done this first. It's been a while since I worked on the 6 car, so I don't really remember the order of operation, so to speak, on how to make it look good. While we're waiting for that, we'll just throw these side decals on. I don't really have any topics to talk about unless you guys want to talk Premier League, because the past couple days of the Premier League were insane. I could talk about that for a while. West Ham played Manchester United today. Ooh, we have a Man U supporter in the house. We have West Ham's up 2-1. 2-1 to the Hammers. I mean, we could talk about the Premier League. That's fine with me. West Ham played Manchester United today. I didn't actually watch the game. I listened to it because it was on USA. Don't have USA because I don't pay for cable. And I did watch the highlights after the match. I think a 1-1 draw is a good result for West Ham, a bad result for Manchester United. With a win, Manchester United would have... Cody, what's up? I hope you're doing well. I'll be honest, I'm super sorry. I haven't been able to catch any of your streams lately. I've been busy, and as you can see, I'm getting ready to work on some more of your cars coming up here soon. So I actually, if I can get this one done in a decent amount of time, I'll be switching over to your 164s. I got 10 more sandblasted and painted last week. This weekend, I will be sandblasting and painting 10 more of them. So, yeah, we're getting it. We're getting it. But glad to see you pop in for a little bit. Hope you're doing well also. But yeah, I thought West Ham, judging only off the highlights that I saw, I'll probably watch the game tomorrow. in its entirety when it's on Peacock. But it seemed like West Ham started the game really well, and then Manchester United. So it was at Old Trafford. Very based. Thank you. The game was at Old Trafford, so West Ham away. Based off of what I was listening to and then what I saw in the highlights, West Ham started the game really well, and Manchester United grew into it, and then they kind of took over for the end of the first half, kind of the beginning of the second half, and so it kind of ended. I think Manchester United scored. They scored in the 50-something or 60-something minute, and then West Ham didn't score until like the 85th, something about around there. So it seemed like a pretty evenly matched game. Both teams had numerous chances from the highlights that I watched. Each team only took one of those apiece, and like I said before, I thought West Ham going to Old Trafford in the form that they were in, the point for them was better than the point that Manchester United earned. United, if they would have won, it would have taken them to 4th, maybe 5th. Actually, I think it would have taken them to 5th, which would have been a Champions League spot. And then West Ham would have pulled themselves out of the relegation zone if they would have won. They did not, so they're still in the relegation zone. But they're now 2 points behind Leeds. Leeds, who beat Chelsea yesterday. Was it yesterday? Or was it 2 days ago? I think it was yesterday. Beat Chelsea 3-1, which Leeds is, well, at the time they were second bottom, and Chelsea was second in the league. So, yeah, that was a pretty big shakeup in the table. And I see Manchester United has drawn level 2-2. So, yeah, a lot of crazy things happened in the Premier League the past couple days. Manchester City and Fulham game, that game was out of control. City, I think, at one point was up 5-1, and Fulham pulled it all the way back to end 5-4. So very roller coaster game, all over the place. Very entertaining from a neutral. Now, me personally, I wouldn't consider myself neutral. I don't like Manchester City, so I would have preferred to see them lose. But it is what it is. So Fulham put up a good fight. Trying to think what else. Arsenal won again. I don't even remember who they played, but they're kind of like a buzzsaw right now. They don't really lose. They don't even really draw games either. They've been winning pretty much everything, which is, I guess, disappointing for the rest of the people in the table, the rest of the teams. But honestly, they're not too far ahead either, so that's kind of interesting as well. Arsenal's, I think they're only 5 points clear of City. Let me check. I'll just pull it up while we're here. That way I get all of my facts and all of my information correct. Yeah, Arsenal is 5 points clear of City at the top. So it's not like they've completely run away with it. Teams are still close. Which brings me to Aston Villa. So the Aston Villa match where they played... Who did they play? That's the problem with watching so many matches, is they all kind of blend together. Was it Bournemouth? No, it wasn't Bournemouth. I can just look. Aston Villa played... Brighton, that's right. That game was crazy too. Villa's starting goalkeeper, Emi Martinez, the Argentine, he got injured in pre-game warm-ups, and so their backup keeper came in, and he made a pretty critical mistake that led to an early Brighton goal. Brighton then went up again with another goal, 2-1 or 2-0, and then I believe, trying to think, I think it was 2-2 at halftime. Ollie Watkins scored both goals for Aston Villa. drew them back level at Brighton at halftime, and then I think they went on to win it. Let me see. I think it was 4-3. Yeah, Aston Villa went on to win it 4-3. So that was a crazy game. The City-Fulham game was crazy, 5-4, really high-scoring games, both of those. Not terribly common. Spurs and Newcastle, they drew 2-2. I did not watch that one. Everton beat Bournemouth 1-0. Arsenal won 2-0. Crystal Palace beat Burnley, so they're still towards the top. And then Forest beat Wolves again. Leeds beat Chelsea. The Liverpool-Sunderland game I was a little disappointed with. I thought that Sunderland played really well, and then Liverpool, not that they got a lucky goal, but it took a pretty big deflection, and that's how they scored. So, yeah, Liverpool, they played West Ham last week, and I knew West Ham was going to lay an egg, and they did. They did. So they lost 2-0 last week to Liverpool, which didn't surprise me at all. But, yeah, Liverpool's looked like they've been in shambles lately, which is completely fine with me. But, yeah, so overall, just a crazy midweek window for the Premier League, which was super fun and very enjoyable from a fan's standpoint, from a neutral standpoint. About this car, all of these little decals are very, very, very small. And like I said before, I didn't actually make this decal set. My buddy Sam, really good designer for printed decals, he designed it and made it. And I didn't really have very good reference pictures for it. So it was hard to get all of the images of the car and make sure that we got all the decals right. And credit to him, we got it right, and everything pretty much fits exact. There are a few things with it that aren't 100% right, but I'll take it. So, let's see. So we can change to match week 15 coming up here this weekend. So the Premier League fun continues. So Saturday we have a game at 7:30 a.m. Villa Arsenal. I think that'll be a good match. Like I said, Villa's been playing very well of late. They started the season horribly, and they've been playing very well lately. And again, like I said, Arsenal just doesn't lose. So that game will be interesting. I'm hoping Villa can get the dub. That would be awesome, because if Villa wins, I think they would go, well, they would go second depending upon what City does. And that would cut Arsenal's lead down, because Villa's sitting third right now. So another hint about my name being on this car, my name is not on this side. So my name is on the passenger side. Well, let's see. Saturday is full of matches. West Ham plays at 9 on Sunday. They played Brighton. So West Ham coming off of a game that they got a point away. That's pretty good. Brighton coming off a loss at home. That's not good for them. So I guess we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But it should be another fun weekend. Another fun weekend of matches. See, it's 2-2 in the poll question. Manchester United versus West Ham United. Today was probably best case scenario for me as a neutral in today's match, considering I like both of the teams. I think West Ham needed the point more than I know they needed the point more than Manchester United, because they're in the relegation fight. But yeah, other than that, it seemed like a pretty decent match, pretty evenly matched back and forth. So this is a very strange sponsor, South Africa sponsoring a NASCAR. Not really sure what it is. I'm assuming it's a tourism board or something that did this. Either way, it's kind of goofy seeing the South African flag on a NASCAR race car, which very familiar with the South African flag, considering it was the host of the 2010 World Cup, one I have fond memories of. Kind of my first World Cup that I really paid attention to. That was my freshman year of high school. So, yeah, back then I was playing soccer, watching soccer. The World Cup was a big thing, so good times. So, anyway, hopefully you guys are all doing well out there. I can provide some entertainment on this Thursday evening. I have off work tomorrow, so I figured I would go live a little bit later tonight, see if that made any difference to anyone. I don't know if it really will. I think the algorithm stuff it's been somewhat kind to me lately. I'm up to 350 subscribers, which is really cool. But I don't really play that whole algorithm game, trying to time it up right so everybody can join and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm just gonna go live when I have time and decal the cars when I need to get them done. So what's gonna end up probably happening next, for probably the next couple streams, is I'll do Cody's cars and I'll stream those, because I need to get those done before Daytona. I think we're probably going to end up going to the race in Daytona, at least the Xfinity and the ARCA race, because I know a few people in those spheres. So obviously Cody and then the 39 guys on Ryan Sieg Racing. So yeah, it should be fun if we can make it down there for those races, and then I can hand deliver these puppies to Cody, which would be great. All the work I've put into these 164s, I don't want to trust USPS to them. At least not all 50 of them. I'd like to hand deliver them and make sure they reach their destination without issue. So I'll be doing that hopefully in the in the spring. So yeah. Either way, glad that you guys are here. Just a pretty chill stream on a Thursday night. We're making pierogies tomorrow. I play soccer, but what is West Ham? Oh no. Alright, so at least I'm assuming you know who Manchester United is. That's why you asked who West Ham is. West Ham United is another team that's in the Premier League. I'm also going to assume that you know that Manchester United is in the Premier League, English soccer, their top division, English football, whatever you want to call it. West Ham's one of the clubs that's been in the Premier League on and off forever, pretty much. So the reason I like West Ham is because in 2023 we went over to Ireland and England, and when we went over to England, we took a tour of London Stadium where West Ham plays. And so that's kind of how I became a West Ham fan. When I was younger, when I played and growing up and was playing FIFA and on teams and stuff, that I loved Manchester United. I liked Wayne Rooney. I liked Cristiano Ronaldo, Ryan Giggs, Edwin van der Sar, I think was their goalkeeper. So, yeah, the heritage, the history is more for the Manchester United side, and the more recency bias, I suppose, is the West Ham United side. So, oh man, Manchester United takes the lead 3-2. Okay. Oh yeah, and Cody, these are Cody's cars. So, yeah, I got 36 or 36 of them more to go. So it's United. Yeah. I don't know if you watched the game today, probably not, but it ended in a 1-1 draw between Manchester United and West Ham United. So they were united in their scores. But glad you could join. I don't know how long I'm going to be live tonight. The goal is to get this car done. We'll see. It shouldn't take too long at all. But thanks for joining. I appreciate your presence as a present, as they say. So if you guys weren't here last time, the reason why I'm remaking this car is because I got Planner School's varsity scrimmage. Nice, 9-0. That's a high score line, 9-0. I'm remaking this car because I wanted to do it with the super speedway package that they raced with in 2022. So a larger front splitter, larger, skinnier but taller back spoiler. So yeah, I wanted to remake it for myself. And then this one I'll be getting rid of. I don't know. I'll have to reach out to my buddy and see if he wants to sell it or what I'm gonna do with it. So yeah, but I just wanted to make this one for myself, remake it to be better, more accurate to the on-track car, because I made the Ross Chastain cars with the super speedway package and stuff on it. So yeah, my school is a 2A, but we're so good at sports. 2A. So is that like second division? Because at least where I live, it goes by divisions. So it'd be like Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, and so on. We were Division 2 when I played, at least for soccer. I think we were Division 3 for football. Other day basketball team beat us 6-6. I'm assuming the higher the number, the lower the division. It's kind of inversely related. Like Division 1 would be the top, Division 2, Division 3 would be lower subsequently. But yeah, when I played, we were Division 2. It's like 4th division. Okay. We were D2, and we were pretty good. I mean, we didn't win any state championships or anything like that, but we made the playoffs every year, the postseason. And in my senior year, we went further than, it was the furthest that we went in school history. I think it was like the third round maybe, I think it was the third round. But we were a pretty small school, country school out in the middle of nowhere, so we didn't really have the resources and the crop to pick from, for lack of a better term, of athletes. Also, soccer being during football season, it was never... There were some kids that played football that probably would have been better off playing soccer, but America has a football fanaticism, which is fine. That's fine. If people want to like that, I don't really care. I don't care for it at all, but I think that's, if I really want to dive into it, I think that's a big reason why the U.S. probably won't ever win a World Cup. I think that the other sports pull a lot of the best athletes from soccer, and there's not really a soccer culture in America yet. Higher the number, the better the school. 6. Oh, okay. So opposite of what I was thinking. Well, that's pretty crazy then. 133 to 20. I don't know. That seems pretty wild. But yeah, I think at some point, maybe, probably not in my lifetime, but Yeah, probably not in my lifetime will the U.S. win a World Cup. Next year it'll be interesting. I mean, they're definitely going to get out of, well, they should definitely get out of the group stage. And I hate what FIFA did with the de-randomizing the draws, which is taking place tomorrow. So I think it's going to be on FIFA's official YouTube channel. And it'll probably be on Fox Sports or ESPN or something. So tune in tomorrow. The draws for the World Cup are happening, but to be honest with you, it's kind of annoying what's going to happen. It's the worst 6A school. Hey, you know what? You don't have to disclose that information. You could just say that it was a 6A school. But yeah, so basically what FIFA did, or what they're doing, is they're taking, so US, Mexico, and Canada have already qualified because they are the host nations for the World Cup. That's how it always goes. If you host, you automatically qualify. And on top of that, a lot of other nations have already qualified. Pretty much everybody except I think there might be 6 spots left, or 4 spots left to be determined. So with that being said, I think the US, Mexico, and Canada have already been put into their groups. I think Mexico's Group A because they're hosting the first match, then Canada's Group B, and then US is Group D for whatever reason. And then beyond that, some of the bigger teams, I think it's Spain, England, France, and Argentina, I think, they're being selectively pooled into different groups so that they would not have like an early round matchup in the knockout stage. It's complete manipulation by FIFA, and it's just fabrication of the brackets and how everything's going to play out. I don't like it. I think it's a bad idea. I think it takes away from like an early big matchup between two teams. Like if you had Argentina playing England in the round of 16, or, I mean, it probably wouldn't happen in the round of 32, but, you know, if you had something like that taking place, it would put, like, that game would almost be like a final, and that game would have so much importance with it. But yeah, FIFA, for whatever reason, wanted to protect the big teams, so they're going to put them on opposite sides of the bracket, which I don't like at all. But anyway, the draw's happening tomorrow. So yeah, I'll be watching it. It'll be interesting to see who gets drawn into what group, and you know how easy or difficult the United States will have to get out of the group. My guess is it's probably going to be pretty easy, because they also put like each team, or they basically have 4, they call them pots, or you don't want to call them groups because that's what they're getting drawn into, but they call them pots. So they have 4 pots that they're pulling these teams from, and they basically use the FIFA rankings to place the teams in the pot. So pot A has the best teams in it. Pot B will have like second best, pot C, and pot D. So like the teams get progressively worse, and one team gets pulled from each pot. So like Group A is gonna have, I don't remember, Mexico is Group A, and then like Croatia's one in pot B, and then like Iran or Iraq is pot C, and then pot D is like Curacao or Trinidad and Tobago or whatever, smaller nations. So there's really no possibility for a group of death, which I find frustrating, because that was part of the excitement of the World Cup, was who was going to get drawn into a group of death, where you're going to have like Germany playing Argentina and Brazil or something. It wouldn't happen like that. I don't think it's ever been that bad, but you know, you have 2 really, really good teams, let's say England and Germany, and then like not a B tier team, but a team like Mexico, who's good, but not as good or not as great as, like, say, Germany or England or Spain or France or whatever. I guess Spain hasn't really been too good lately since they won the World Cup in 2010. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I don't know if it's more complicated. FIFA has decided to complicate it. It's really not. It's not. I'm probably doing a bad job of explaining it coherently and clearly. I could probably pull it up, but it might crash my computer. So, it used to just be a random draw, and they upped it from 32 teams now to 48. So there are more teams in it, which means more games, which means more TV, which means more ad revenue, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff, more money. So we really know why they did it. Everything's always money. Follow the money. That's where everything goes. That's why the NFL I think they added another game, and I thought they were going to add another games, because I'm pretty sure their season was only 16 games, and now it's 17, or maybe it's 18. I don't know. I don't watch football, but they were adding games or something like that. I heard a few years ago. But yeah, it's really not that complicated. I'm just probably doing a bad job of explaining it, is all. But either way, the World Cup is going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. They're going to put on a good show. You're undoubtedly going to get some underdog teams taking down some of the bigger ones, which is always fun. Unless it's your country. Like you see the United States losing to Ghana, or getting knocked out of the World Cup qualification to Trinidad and Tobago. So yeah, the World Cup, it's always interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun. Unfortunately, no, it is in the summer, so the Premier League will be done by then. Oh, yes, I do. That was actually something I wanted to talk to you about, because I know you said you're getting water slide decals. So the number one thing I would suggest is using warm water. Doesn't have to be like super hot water, but just warm water. Decals work better in warm water, so that's what I have here. It's warm. It's not like, I didn't even notice my camera was crooked. Why don't you guys tell me? Bob. It's not super hot, but it is warm, so the decals are more malleable when they're warm instead of cold. So that's one suggestion. And then I use Solvaset decal setting solution, and I love their description. It makes decals snuggle down into every crevice. Which is true. It does help. As you can see, the roof flaps. There you go. See the outline? The decals fit right down into the roof flaps. So I use that, and I get that from Printed Decals. It works really well. One thing I would advise, though, if you are going to use the softening solution, is that it does really soften the decals up. So most of the time, for like big areas like this, I'll just, and you've probably seen it when I'm working, is I'll just throw like a couple of swipes of that. Ordered the Vallejo brand. It's probably good. I mean, they're all kind of the same. You just have to be really careful, because it does it does really soften the decal up, and you can pull them, and then they will get the ink will separate, I guess, for lack of a better term. And when the ink separates, then the decal cracks, and you can see like white through the decal. I don't think I have any examples close to me, but just, yeah, my my suggestion is to just be patient. I guess, whose decals did you order? I know you said you ordered some decals, but do you know what brand they are? Obviously, you bought them. What brand are they? Because that could also play into it. How they're printed and how the decal setting solution interacts with them. Send Ben clear coat. So for my cars, I use a 4-to-1 automotive clear coat, 4 parts clear, 1 part activator. And for printed decals, so that's what these are, I can spray it right over top of them with nothing else. So it's paint the car, clear it, decal it, clear it. That's it. That's all I do. For, like, if you order them from Pato's place, decals, you have to put basically, what is it, floor gloss over top of it, which is this stuff. Pledge. It used to be, what was the old name of it? It used to be something different. Yeah, Pato's decals are off. Pato's decals do not always fit the contours of the bodies of the cars. 100%. I've dealt with them. Now, they're pretty good quality. So I don't want to... I bought the kind that you don't have to spray set. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to, like, demean or bring down Pato's, but sometimes the decals don't fit the bodies properly. So I've just kind of gotten the habit of designing my own decals. But yeah, so you're gonna print them yourself. So do you design them yourself as well? Because I've started to get into design work myself, and it's been fun. But it does take a while. It takes a good long time. Like all of these decals for Cody, I designed them specifically to fit these 164 bodies. Actually, I designed them to fit the 124 bodies and then scaled it down to the 164 size. So, yeah. But also, one thing I don't like about Pato's is they'll put all the rivets and all the antenna dots and outlines for the roof flaps and everything on their cars, and I don't like that because it doesn't always line up properly, and that drives me nuts. Design a few. I usually use templates from Brand. Okay. And you're primarily working in 164, right? I think. Because you can kind of get away with some things on a 164 that you couldn't on a 124. The detail doesn't have to be as crisp, as sharp. Some things on a 164 don't have to be perfect, whereas on a 124, you're going to see that detail, and you're going to notice it a lot more. So, yeah, I would... Printing them yourself, I've never done that. Well, I can't. I guess that's not true. How about the kind that you don't have to spray set? Oh, the decal paper that you don't have to spray set. Okay. Yeah, that's... If I've ever printed my own decals, that's the only kind that I've used. 164s, there's nothing wrong with it, though. It's a great place to start. I mean, that's where I got my start. 2011, 2011 was the first year that I really stepped into making custom diecast. I bought a lot of decals off eBay because people would... So when you buy from Pato's, he'll send like a lot of 4, sometimes 3, sometimes 4 in one sheet. And so people would buy them and then sell them on eBay. And so that's how I got a bunch of my decals early on. I was more involved on the eBay side. And back then, Future Floor Wax is what it used to be called, but now it's Pledge or something. So, yeah, the decals back then, they didn't really have all those extra details on them, and I was just learning too, so I wasn't really that good at it. Not that I'm really that good at it now, but yeah, 164s. The whole reason why I started doing these custom diecasts is because I wanted to have every single car that ran in 2011. It was a very ambitious project. It was a very I don't know if not well thought out is a good way to describe it. But yeah, I did make a ton. I probably made over 100 2011 164s that year, and in probably 2012, 2013. So, and my habits and what I did back then were so much different than what I do now. Well, I appreciate it, and kind of like anything, the more you work on stuff, the better you will get eventually. So, and I've seen you've already made some cars, and they looked pretty good from the videos that I saw. So you're already doing well. Good luck with that. I'm sort of a perfectionist to my detriment, and like I think last time we talked about, if you saw the basement video of all of my cars, if you notice the 2011s, I don't have that car. You have that car. If you look at if you saw the basement video and looked at the 164 cases, so all of my 2011s are only the ones produced, and I got rid of all of my custom 2011s like last year or the year before, because I only wanted to have what was actually produced. If you looked at the 2007 cars, I am still working on them. It's not like a high priority for me, but I'm still trying to, at some point I will continue to make 164s for myself for the 2007s, because my goal is to have every single car that ran on track in 2007. It's a very lofty goal. We'll see. I don't know if I'll ever get to it, but that's kind of something that I want to do eventually. So we'll see. It's something that's always in the back of my mind. I just have so many other projects going on now. Thanks, Cody. I don't think he's watching the stream anymore, but you know, his 50. I'm never doing that again. I've already sworn that off. I am not willing to take that on. I'll do like 5. I think 5 will be my max that I would make for a driver. 164s. Unless they're like putting me on the payroll and I could make a lot of money on them or something. I try to keep, at least for now, I try to keep all of my margins small, so that it's more of a hobby. I'm just trying to help out the teams, because they wouldn't have their cars made otherwise. Maybe I'll do every German. See, I like that better. That's a better, like, you don't overwhelm yourself, because you'll kind of get yourself burnt out too. That's another thing. With all of these cars for Cody, I wouldn't say I'm burnt out, but it's overwhelming. So I think committing to something like that is super feasible. Now, at most, you'll have, how many times does the Xfinity race a year? 20, 30, 32? What is the Xfinity race a year? 32 races? 34 races? Something like that. Whatever that is. I think that would be more feasible. You'd only have to make 32 cars or something. And you probably wouldn't even do that. You would only make, you know, the different paint schemes. So let's say you run 32 races a year. I know that the 51 car is a smaller team, so maybe they'll have like 18 sponsors. So maybe you'd only have to make 18 cars. which that's not so bad over the span of an entire season. But yeah, I think that would be really cool. I have seen a few people, or there's one guy out there that has made like a ton of Ryan Sieg 164s, which I find really cool. Clemens has been racing since 2003 in full time. Oh, you're talking about ever. Okay. Well, yeah, you could do that. That would be a heck of a commitment. That would be really cool, though. One other thing I should mention, so when you put the decal in the water, give it a little bit of time, and you probably noticed this, but give it a little bit of time for the ink, the decal itself to work itself off of the backing. So you can't just like dunk them in and then put them on or take them off the backing. You have to dunk them in, kind of let them sit for a couple seconds, and then you can go ahead and do that. So, and you'll learn all of these tips and tricks the longer you do it, the more cars you work on, all that kind of stuff. So if you really like doing it, just stick with it. Don't give up. And and you'll mess up a car or two here or there. You'll rip a decal and your head will want to pop off of your shoulders. And I've been there. So yeah, don't get like too upset if something doesn't go right. I that was one thing, again, being a perfectionist, that I had to kind of learn and teach myself, is it will not always go 100% right, and there will be some mistakes, and you'll rip a decal and have to buy another set, or you'll have to try and fix it somehow. Just don't get frustrated and be patient. Those are probably the two biggest pieces of like actually non-working advice I could give, is be patient and don't get overly frustrated. Like 2020 they ran only, yeah, so see, that's not too bad. 3 schemes a year, so that'd be 15 cars from 2020 to 2025. Like, that's not too bad. That's a pretty feasible and achievable goal. I think that would be a relatively easy one to do for you. And again, as you get better, you'll get quicker at it, so it won't take you as long to do one car. Now, I know we've been live for almost an hour now, and I really haven't done a whole lot on this car, but that's because I'm trying to also entertain you guys. I've noticed that while, yes, it is fun to go live and to stream this process, it does slow me down interacting with the chat, which is fine. It's not a bad thing, but my productivity isn't as high because I have to focus on having the car kind of in the middle of the screen instead of pulling it close to me, and then like looking up to see if you guys have said stuff and all that. So, if you're not streaming it and you're just working on them yourself, you could get pretty quick at them, and that helps out a ton too. It's not 100% right. Being perfect all the time is no fun. Yes and no. I don't disagree necessarily with that. If everybody was the same, or if the world was perfect, it'd be a pretty boring place. That's absolutely true. But for these kinds of things, and honestly, you'll get a ton of cars from Lionel that are not perfect, like multiple hundreds of dollars of. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when I'm streaming, it's more entertaining to have the chat rolling when you or multiple people or anybody are in the chat. It makes the streams more fun. It makes it easier for me to interact with you and to talk, because if not, I would just be listening to music or listening to a podcast or watching a video or something. So it's best that the chat does interact with me and you do comment and stuff, because it helps the stream kind of flow well. But yeah, especially so like you'll get a lot of cars from Lionels that have imperfections and stuff, but specifically when I'm when I'm making cars for the teams or drivers, in my opinion, I need to make them perfect. They have to be perfect because I don't know. That's just who I am. Genre. Well, right now everything's Christmas music. But I guess that's not entirely true because on the way to work this morning, I listened to some Metallica. There was some Megadeth sprinkled in. We had some Disturbed and Avenged Sevenfold. So I'm more of a, I guess, a metalhead for lack of a better term. But I also like generally rock and roll, like Aerosmith, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue. Let's see, what other bands? Mostly that kind of music. That's kind of where I line up. But I don't hate that. But I'll listen to a lot of music. The only genres that I don't really love are kind of rap and country. Like I don't really like either of those. There's some cool blues songs. There's some cool like early 2000s punk rock, new metal, like Linkin Park. Let's see, Shinedown. I'm just kind of going like Creed. Creed's good. System of a Down, they're good too. Those are kind of Ozzy. Yeah, you got Black Sabbath, and then you got Ozzy Osbourne. Oh, Van Halen. Van Halen's another one of my favorites. Trying to think who else. Kiss is good. The Beastie Boys. But there's some NSYNC songs that are great. Same thing with like the Backstreet Boys. Like they have some bangers from the 90s, early 2000s. Trying to think. Stained is pretty good. Three Doors Down is good. Yeah, Metallica. I said Metallica first. That was the first one I said, you goofball. Yeah, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. They're pretty good. Big band swing music. That's fun to listen to. Just depends on the decade. Recently, Soundgarden. Okay, yeah, those are. I feel like most of those are like 90s bands, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really listen to those, but I'm pretty sure I know at least like Joker and the Thief is a Wolf Mother song. Soundgarden, I think Black Hole's Sun is Soundgarden song, I think. I like the Offspring too, the Jonas Brothers. Yeah, definitely. I'm a huge Joe Bros fan. I know somebody that went to the Joe Bros before they were cool. The Joe Bros. So yeah. Yeah, you already said that. What the heck? Yeah, there's a lot of good music out there. Yeah, to your point too, it kind of depends on what mood you're in, what you want to listen to. I also like, there are times where I like classical music. Some Tchaikovsky has some cool stuff. Obviously Beethoven, Mozart, the big ones have some very recognizable, very good music. Greta Van Fleet. I don't know who that is, actually. I'll be honest, I don't know who that is. There's a chance that I've heard a song or something. It's possible. What else do I listen to? More of a modern band. Okay, modern. Yeah, I don't listen to a ton of modern stuff. Like Metallica, Megadeth, Disturbed, Avenged Sevenfold. Like, they've put out albums pretty recently, and they've had some newer stuff. But they're all old bands. Oldish. So it's not like they're really putting anything new out. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool music out there. Yeah, Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Yeah, they have some absolute bangers for their Christmas album. Yeah, and it is Christmas time, so yeah, they put out some really good ones. I've never actually listened to any of their non-Christmas music. I'm sure it's good, but it's just for whatever reason, like subconsciously they're only a Christmas band in my mind, and I don't know why. I listen to Led Zeppelin. Oh yeah, Led Zeppelin. I don't really listen to a lot of them, but they're good. They have a lot of good songs. I like Led Zeppelin. I don't not like them. I've never been to one of their concerts. So the concerts I have been to were Van Halen, Guns N' Roses twice, and I've recently seen Metallica in concert, and that was super cool. That was my favorite, was Metallica. Although Van Halen was really good too. But yeah, a lot of good music out there. A lot of variety, a lot of different things. Oh, my phone's at 20%. A lot of different things. But yeah, it's I did like the live music. But live music's more about the experience than the quality of the music. I mean, they sounded good when I saw Metallica recently. What helped was that it was an outdoor venue, so the sound was able to escape, so it wasn't overwhelming. And my ears actually were not ringing as we left the venue, which was nice, because I also saw, when I saw Guns N' Roses twice, I saw them once indoors and once outdoors, and the outdoor concert was leaps and bounds better than the indoor concert, because I had such a headache from the indoor concert because the sound had nowhere to escape to, and that's why I like outdoor venues a lot better. I have seen videos, though, to your point, of Trans-Siberian Orchestra with the lasers and all the effects and stuff that they do. Wild stuff, absolutely wild stuff. I think the cool thing about Metallica is they're old, but they can still play really well, but they've also kind of mellowed out, so now they focus more about the music instead of like riling up the crowd and just creating chaos. Which, you know, if you look at the Metallica and Guns N' Roses tour in '91, like, that was kind of what they did. They just created a lot of chaos and stirred up a lot of shenanigans. Yeah, Axl Rose, he's an interesting dude, that's for sure. He's got one of the most unique voices in all of music, for sure. Definitely a very unique voice. It was also weird because he went to sing with AC/DC for a little bit, I think. Slash, though, on the guitar was still fantastic. And like the Metallica guys, like, they can all still play. I think they're in their 60s. They might, if not upper 50s. They can all still play really well. And that's one of the coolest things about it, is they've been around for so many years. Now, they had some shenanigans play out with the Napster stuff in the early 2000s and all that kind of stuff taking place. But yeah, overall it was a really good concert. I actually saw him 2 days. I saw him Friday and Monday. It was like a music festival, or Friday and Sunday, and two completely different sets. So you got a bunch of different songs, which was awesome to see. Oh, that's annoying. Well, I guess we're gonna put the door handles on. Trying to learn the Yeah, me too. When I was younger, I tried that also, and I played soccer, and that took up the majority of my time. And it just, I can appreciate it. I absolutely can, but I don't have the time to learn. I just don't think I'm cut out for it. Some people just have a natural talent, natural gift. And I don't think I had it. I know the big debate is always, is it learned or is it a natural talent? I'm more of the persuasion that you absolutely can spend a lot of time learning something and honing a craft, but I think to be great at anything in particular, you have to have a natural talent. There has to be something innate in your DNA, in your physique, whatever it may be, that makes you really good at whatever it is. Like if you look at Lionel Messi, like he's the best soccer player ever. There has to be natural talent there. You just don't, like, you can practice and practice and practice, and a lot of players practice every day and they're still not as good as Messi. So, you know, there is a certain level of that, but yeah, I think if you commit enough time to something, you can get really good at it. But yeah, motivation too. Yeah, there's so I also kicked for football, and I kind of wish I would have done that instead of playing soccer, because I probably could have gone pro, or at least gone to college. And yeah, Rush is good too. Rush is a good band. Neil Peart. I kind of wish I would have played football and just kicked, and then, you know, probably could have gone to college on a scholarship just for kicking. If I would have committed myself and had motivation to do so, but I only kicked for like a year. No, I kicked for 2 years, and you know, it was more of like a hobby. It was never something that I was gonna, you know, take pro or anything like that. But that's like what this is. I've asked Lionel if they have jobs, and they're like, no, not really. I'm like, okay. So it shall remain my hobby, which is fine. I don't mind it. I always kind of wanted to make a JD Motorsports car that was red, because all of their cars were red. It was really neat. It would always be funny to see them running on track, like all next to each other or all around each other, because all three of them were red. Yeah, to be honest with you, I would side more with your parents. I don't like football. I never have. The only reason I played was because I could kick, and hence I was the kicker. I did have to make a couple tackles, and I hated it. I was not a fan. I don't like the contact. The pads and everything kind of give you an illusion of safety, because you can still get some really hard hits and you know, concussions and all that kind of stuff. So to me, it's not worth it. So personally, I mean, I'd side more with your parents on not playing football, but that's just me personally. Not to mention, like, so few people go pro. Like, you have to be scouted, and this goes for anything. Like, you have to be scouted from such a young age, and then a lot of people get burnt out too. So I don't know. Sports are, for me personally, sports at a non-professional, more at a youth level, or more to get involved and learn how to interact with other people, learn how to teamwork, to problem solve, to think on your feet, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, see, exactly. Whoa, Braden, what's up? Long time no see. Glad to have you here. Thank you for the compliment on the car. My name's on this side. I don't know if you were here last time, but it's somewhere over there. But to your point, I also knew people that had concussions from playing soccer. So, whoa, Manchester United goes up 4-3. West Ham pulls one back. So we are sitting 4-3. 7 votes. This might be the most I've ever had on a poll. That's kind of cool. But yeah, there was a kid that I played soccer with in high school. He also played football at a younger age, so he had concussions from that. But he got concussions playing soccer, going up for headers, and they said, yeah, you can't really play anymore, because if you get any more concussions, then it's gonna irreparably damage your brain. So he had to stop playing contact sports altogether, which kind of sucked. That stuff's you don't want to mess with that. You only get one brain. And that kind of controls like your whole body. So you don't really want to screw that up. All right, so let's get rid of this. That's why, also, on a related note, that's why the next gen was such a big problem. Because the next gen was giving drivers concussions from the rear impact. And the car was supposed to be safer, and it turns out that it was giving drivers concussions. And it ended Kurt Busch's career. So, yeah, that's the problem. My academics, yeah, see, and that's the thing. Like, for me personally, I knew I was never going to go pro playing sports. That just, I don't know if it's because from a young age I understood that or whatever, but sports for me were always just a thing to interact with other people and to stay in shape. Like, it's good to stay in shape and stay fit and everything like that. So that was kind of what sports were more for me. And when I was going to college, I was looking at schools that, and I was getting like Division II looks for soccer and Division III looks for football. And I actually had more Division III looks for football than I ever did playing soccer. But anyway, none of the schools that wanted me had engineering. And that was what I wanted to go to school for, was mechanical engineering. And essentially to get into NASCAR, which never happened, but it is what it is. But yeah, they were like, well, you can play 2 years here and then you can transfer. And I just didn't want to deal with all that because I knew I wasn't going to be going pro. So I figured my academics was more important than playing a sport for a couple years just for fun, I guess. Yeah, probably would have helped with a scholarship, but in the long run, like, if you pick an affordable school, I'm not even saying you have to go to college, but if you pick an affordable school, like, you can make it work. So, I mean, everything's so different in everybody's life. Like, there's so many different opportunities. That's what I want to go to. Mechanical engineering, I would recommend it. Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. It's not that difficult if you stick with it and you actually study and pay attention in all your classes and do your assignments and actually want to learn. It's not that difficult. It is challenging, sure, but I mean, yeah, that's the thing. A lot of companies require an engineering degree, and like when I was looking at all the NASCAR teams to apply to them, engineering degree was at the top of the list. Honestly, though, to your point, trade schools are looking better and better. I don't know if I would do it differently, but I mean, yeah. When I was in school, it was pushed. Everybody's got to go to college. You got to go to college. You got to get a degree. That was like the top level. Nothing could beat that. I'm not saying that was right or wrong, but trade schools, learning a trade is important, just as important. And to your point, you can get a 5-figure job right out of high school with benefits and health insurance and all that kind of stuff. So there's tons of options out there. So you just have to sit down and actually weigh all of your options and see what you think you could do in 5 years or 10 years. Because also, you could go back to school. Like, you don't have to your point, right out of high school, you could go to a trade school, learn a trade for 5 years or 10 years, whatever, and get involved in it and start off without any debt. And then you could go back to school incrementally, like take some night classes or something. Yeah. So, auto repair. That's funny. I know somebody that's a mechanic. So, yeah, it's there's tons of options out there. So I don't know. My generation, I guess, they were very heavy into got to go to college, got to go to college, got to get a degree. I don't know anymore. It's just now for like an engineering degree, yeah, you probably need it. But I mean, honestly, most degrees these days probably aren't worth the paper that they're printed on. Let's just say it that way. So, yeah, but there's tons of options. You can weigh each one of them and sit down and think about them, and yeah. Of course, if you want to work in NASCAR, the best thing to do is just to move to Charlotte and try to sweep somebody's race shop. So, I wasn't willing to do that because I like being around my family. So, yep, here I am. But it's been good. I have no complaints. No complaints whatsoever. So it's 10:18, so we're going for an hour and 18 minutes. Maybe I'll just go to 11. It's a Thursday night. It's kind of an oddball night. I have off work tomorrow, so I figured I might as well go live tonight. We're almost done with this car. 2 more decals on the back. I'm going to put a few decals down the sides. And then this car will be done. Maybe we'll start on one of Cody's cars. I'm going to put the side skirt rivets on. This has been a pretty fun stream. I appreciate the chats. It's very helpful to keep the flow of things going. And it's fun to engage and have conversations about different topics. I mean, we've covered a lot tonight. We've talked about Premier League, the World Cup, talked about college, university, sports, NASCAR. We've been all over the place. There's a QR code on the back of this. Do you think if I scan it? No, there ain't no way. Okay. Then the last decal, well, we'll do the side skirts next. Yeah, that's the interesting thing too. So NASCAR, well, thank you. I appreciate the kind words. NASCAR, for me, I'm kind of the only one in my family that really likes NASCAR. My dad does a little bit, but kind of only because I do. And my interest in NASCAR has severely waned in the past, well, ever since Jeff Gordon retired in 2015. Like, I'm not involved as much as I used to be. I think part of that has to do with just like the popularity of the sport in general being down. NASCAR is like not even close to relevant as it once was when I grew up watching it in the early 2000s. But I've been staying close enough because I'm making cars for drivers now in teams. So I follow ARCA more than I ever have before, with Cody racing in it, and also trucks a little bit because he races in trucks sometimes. And then the Xfinity series. Not only does the Xfinity series, in my opinion, put on the best racing across the 3 series, but I also know the 39 team guys. So that helps a lot as well. But yeah, it's, NASCAR, and it's currently going through this whole lawsuit situation. So it's a bad look. It's a bad look for the sport and for the teams. I think it's a lose-lose for everybody. I don't know what the outcome is going to be. It just kind of, I don't know. It's been this slow burn that NASCAR has been going down for the past, honestly, since 2004. They kind of peaked in 05, 06, 07. And then after that, they kind of started falling off. And it was a slow decline. And then when Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, Dale Jr., Matt Kenseth, Ryan Newman, Casey Kane, Jimmy Johnson, a lot of the old guard kind of retired, the guys that were in NASCAR during its peak of popularity, when those guys started retiring, a lot of people checked out. On top of the fact that NASCAR just pulled a bunch of shenanigans with adding the playoffs and stages and all that kind of stuff. Race manipulation, everything. Changing the cars a bunch, yeah. So there's a ton of factors as to why it's declined so severely. It should probably be studied, honestly. There should be like a case study done on why NASCAR has failed so dramatically. But I don't know if that'll ever happen. Maybe one day I'll do a deep dive into it on the channel. This channel's not really like that, so it's more about just the diecast. But maybe one day it's something I could consider. Can't believe Manchester United's gonna win. It doesn't surprise me though. I think I know who the West Ham people are. This is always so frustrating, these side skirt rivets. All right, so let me ask you this. Yeah, true. You're a younger fan. So your first year as a NASCAR fan was what? After 2010, right? I'm assuming. After all of those guys probably retired. So you must have watched some of his career then. So like, when was your first season, or when did you start watching? Because, I guess I've only ever really been in a NASCAR fan when they've had a playoff format, but it was the chase when I was watching, and it wasn't like, it was tolerable. It wasn't as stupid as the current system, but I still didn't like it. If you go out there and you look at 2016 was the first time. Okay, so you're a product of the playoff format, because 2016 they still had, well, they called it the chase, but yeah, so 2014 was when they went to that for the first time. And then, so I'm assuming, I'm interested to hear your take on it, because I grew up during the chase era and I didn't like the chase era because it took championships away from Jeff Gordon, who was my favorite driver. But the chase era lended beautifully to Jimmy Johnson's career, and he won his 5 in a row and 7 championships, which it bugs me because without any chase format, without any points format like that, Jeff Gordon has 7 championships. And in my opinion, Gordon's more deserving with his 93 wins, 7 championships. He's already in discussion with Earnhardt and Petty, but just having Jimmy have 7, NASCAR had the second highest, they were the second most watched sport in the country, and they had to go chasing the NFL. Yeah, okay. I think it is too. I think motorsports should not have any sort of playoff whatsoever. And I've made this argument for years, and since we've talked about the Premier League multiple times. Oh no, the stream froze. Oh no. My phone has freaked out. So the battery. Oh, there it goes. No video. All right, let me do this. All right, can you guys even still hear me? This is a really bad time for all of this to happen. Hopefully, it looks like the music's still playing, and it looks like my audio is still coming through. Okay, so you can still hear me, but you can't see anything. All right, let me just try and remedy this really quick, but I'll keep talking anyway. Every driver faces each other every single race on the track, so they're seeing each at the best and worst the entire season. So there's no reason for a points reset or a playoff. Now my brain's all over the place because I got to figure out this stupid camera thing, so I can't even articulate my points clearly. Not only that, but I'm in the middle of doing the side skirt decal. Oh yeah, yeah, it definitely did. It definitely did. But as long as you can still hear me, we're gonna keep rolling with it. I know this is not exactly the streaming experience you guys were hoping for, but I'm trying to fix it. So I got the decal done. Now let me try and solve this problem. What do we have here? It's whatever it is, I gotta come up with a better system for. Oh, hey, we're back. Okay. All right, let's see. All right, as long as the audio was good and that never had any issues, we should be okay. How's that? Okay, excellent. Everything's excellent. Who knows? Okay, we're back. Workshop reveal. It is in my in that basement video. You can see the desk and everything around it. I guess it's not like as a formal reveal or anything like that, but yeah, it's out there. I think we talked about that last time. Almost. It's out there. It's you go check out the basement video. It's there. You can see it. But yeah, so getting back to the points format. It's like the Premier League, and I use this analogy a lot when I try to explain this to people, is the Cup Series, well, any form of motorsports. You're racing every single driver at every single track every week. And so in the Premier League, or most other soccer leagues around the world, you play every single team home and away. So you get every single other stadium in the whole season, and you face every team. So you're getting the biggest sample size that you possibly can. And whoever has the most points at the end of the season, they're the champions. They win. Pretty simple. NASCAR, you face every single driver on the track every single week at the whole year. So it only makes sense that whoever has the most points at the end of the season is the best driver because they've done the best all year long. It's the most simple thing. You don't really have to explain it to the fans. So if you're a casual fan looking to get into the sport, it's not rocket science. You don't need to have an entire graphics package to explain the point system to somebody that just came into the sport. Like, NASCAR overcomplicated it so bad. And for what? For entertainment, I guess? It's super disappointing. But yeah, so if I ran the sport, there would be no postseason, there would be no playoffs, there would be nothing like that. Hopefully I articulated that nicely and coherently. I also... How many of those do I even have? That's the driver's side. So I gotta find a passenger side decal. See, this is what I was not prepared for. These door handle decals. I think I have too many of them for the driver's side. The passenger side doesn't have enough of them. Oh, there's some. I guess they're all just the driver's side. Oh, here's a passenger side. Do you want to see my box of decals that I've had for the past like 15 years? Here's one box of decals. These are all the cars that I've built. I saved the decal sheet names. And these are just probably in the past like 10 years, not even 10 years. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I guess we don't need this one. Okay. Awesome. Well, that's only... So this is part of it, right? That's part of it. I also have this one, which has equally as many, but just different. So this has tons and tons of decals. Cars that I've worked on over the years that have some decals leftovers. These are all hood decals in here. These are all just kind of extra miscellaneous. These are all deck lid ones that go on the backs of the cars. TV panel, quarter panels, miscellaneous. Yeah, a lot of these are pados. So like for this one in particular, if you look, it has the side skirt integrated into it, and all the rivets and everything. And I hated that because it didn't always 100% match the cars, and that drove me nuts. Oh, a lot of Jeffs, Braden. Pretty much that. Well, I don't know if you've seen the basement video, but pretty much my whole collection is Jeff Gordon diecast. So, yeah. Oh, you know what? While we're here, since this is just a fun stream, since we're here, here are some of my early cars. This was a hand-painted one. Let's see. Here is a Jamie McMurray car that was paper decals. Here was an early one with trying water slide decals. So yeah, I've gone through a lot of yeah, the guy from Toy Story. I've gone through a lot of iterations. I've gotten pretty far since I started. I guess I keep these around to kind of remind myself where I came from. Yeah, these was like a very early one that I was printing on an inkjet printer, just on normal paper. And then this was like my first attempt at actual decals. Nah, I saw the Jeremy Clements ones. They looked pretty good, at least on camera. I mean, in person, it's always different. You know, it's the illusion of on camera versus in person. But yours, they did look pretty good. I thought they were nice. Especially, I think they were just paper, regular inkjet paper, or maybe not, whatever printer you have. But they looked good. So, and like I said, I've been doing this for a long, long time. So I've had a lot of trial and error. You did get the chrome numbers. I was going to ask you how you did that. Chrome numbers, they did look pretty good. pain to make. I can imagine. Did you have to paint them? Is that what you did? Or did you get chrome paper and print them on chrome? I don't think we'll do any of Cody's cars tonight. Maybe I'll do them tomorrow. Should I go live tomorrow night? We'll see. Maybe I'll go live tomorrow night and work on Cody's cars. Just commit a live stream just to those. I still have to do my Diecast editing. The next one is going to get billed here in about 7 days. So I need to get the video out. Oh no. Trace the number onto some tracing paper, tape down its aluminum foil, cut down and glue it to the car. That does sound like an adventure, but it looked good. It might have been a lot of work, but it did look good. I actually have not made a car with chrome numbers yet, to my knowledge. I don't think. I'm busy tomorrow. Oh, yeah, but how late? I could go live at like 9. Should go live tomorrow night with 164 cars. Maybe I could go live at like 10 o'clock tomorrow night, maybe 11. We could do a late night stream. We'll see. We'll see. I'll play it by ear. I do know what we're doing tomorrow night, though. I am busy. You're right. I'm busy like all day tomorrow. But that's fine. That's fine. Oh, you know what? Let's do... All right, we'll do these. The jack markers. I do really need to get going on Cody's cars, though. Like I said before, I need to take those to him in Daytona if I end up going, which... Wait, I have a football game. I miss it. Skip the football game. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we'll see. I might not. It's still up in the air. I'm leaning towards not, but you never know. But what I will say is it will be cool once you get all of those Jeremy Clements cars done. I'm looking forward to seeing all those. I was going to leave a comment on your video, but you had comments turned off, which was kind of sad. Now, the only problem about putting this decal on is now I will be susceptible to hitting the hood and opening it up. Oh, see, that's... I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a little speck underneath that decal. Can't be having that. Get out of there, speck. Okay. Whoops. So you gotta make sure everything's centered up. It is a cool design. It's nice and simple on the hood. It's just a V that goes across the front of the nose down into the Chevy logo. It's fairly simple, but it looks good. Red, white, and blue. Love the colors. America. Best one out there. Oh yeah, and when you take the water out of the decals, like I'm doing now, you just have to be really careful, because that's when you'll pull the decals and you'll get frustrated. So you just apply a little bit of pressure. You'll figure it out though. Everybody does it a little bit differently. I've watched some videos of other people and how they do it, and everybody does it a little bit differently. There's no perfect way to do it. You just got to figure out what works best for you. And do it that way. Sorry, unfortunately for decals like this, I need to focus a little bit more because this is the one that everybody's gonna look at the most, the hood decal. Right at the corner of the hood. So I think that'll pretty much wrap up the hood. Pretty much wrap up this car. Basically done with it. Oh, and sometimes we'll see when. All right, sounds good. Yeah, if you're heading out, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. It was fun chatting, hanging out. We made some good progress on this car. We got it finished up. Let's see, 10:44. Yeah, 15 minutes. I'll probably just end it as soon as I get the side skirt, the jack arrows on. But yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm excited. I know this car's for me, but I think it's better than this one. So I'm excited to get it into the collection. All right. All right, we'll add these. Oh, I guess I got to do that. I'll do that later. I think I talked about this last stream, but the jack markers sometimes don't, most of the time they don't align on the diecast what the real car looks like. So I just pick the location of the cutout. I guess I should look at the car and see where it actually is. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So if you can see the jack, the white line is at the top. It basically goes to where the rivets are. So we'll move it down to be in line with the rivets. Just like that. So it's not exactly where it is on the real car. It matches what the diecast shows. Which is fine. It doesn't bother me too much. I think I'd prefer it to be in the spot where the actual cutout is on the car. But yeah, that was one thing that Lionel went back and forth with collectors years ago. I remember they mentioned it on the forum. There was emails sent out where they were like, hey, would you rather have an actual cutout or just replicate it with a decal? Now that I think about it, I probably would rather just have it replicated with a decal because it does and has moved around on the cars. But you know, it is what it is. Braden, thank you for joining. I appreciate you hanging out for a little bit too. It was good to see you again. Hope you have a good night as well. And, you know, catch you in the next one. Hope you have a good night. So, yeah, we're just going to wrap it up here in the next 15 minutes. Maybe I'll put a decal or two on Cody's cars. We got to get this right first. That's too far forward. Those are both upside down. That's funny. Alright, so who do we have left? We have 3 people left. I think I know who all 3 are. I appreciate you for being here. Bum, 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 bum. It was cool that Cody dropped in earlier too. That was nice. Oh. All right. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna go live tomorrow. We'll see. It's a possibility, but I don't know. I actually might want to go to bed early tomorrow because there's a pretty good game at 7:30 on Saturday. Well, if it's on Peacock, I'll go to bed early. If not, then I won't be able to watch it. So, we'll see. We'll play it by ear. I wonder if I don't count. Alright. West Ham. No, West Ham doesn't play till Sunday. They play Sunday at 9. And it looks like Manchester United won the match. They won it 4-3 over West Ham, which is not what happened today. They drew 1-1, getting all the way back, circling all the way back to the beginning. West Ham plays Sunday at 9. Who do they play? I don't remember. I just looked it up a while ago. I don't remember. But I think I know the 2 people that are left. Well, I know you won because you just commented. I think I know the other person. I have a hunch. She should be sleeping, but she's not because she's watching the stream, which I appreciate. But she also should be sleeping. If it is indeed whom I think it is. You'll have to ask him. Yeah, you'll have to ask him on Sunday. Ask him what happened against West Ham. The Hammers. There's cards to be written. I had a feeling you were doing something. Alright, well, I'll go for 10 more minutes. Let's slap a... what are we going to do here? Let's slap a roof number on this car here. This one's number 17. 17! Look at that, Miss Liz. I'll do this one for you. Number 17 for Darb Liz. Oh, man. What a stream. It was a pretty fun one. It was cool that everybody joined. 35 views, too, for an off-the-cuff stream that I wasn't really planning on doing. I guess I kind of planned on doing it, but... Yep. Gotta hydrate. Do you want to see the B-29 bomber? Totally unrelated. Here's the landing gear. It's kind of hard to show, but it looks pretty good. I think I'll like it. Painted the wheels silver. Painted the open doors silver. So it looks pretty good. I think it'll be fine. He'll love it. And then this engine, you can't really tell. I mean, you kind of can, but we'll see. I'm just glad to get this thing out of here. No more miscellaneous projects. Love the flyby. Yeah, I don't want any more miscellaneous projects. I would like to stick to what I'm doing. I hope he does. I hope to never see that plane again. All right. We'll slap this decal on here. This will be the stream tomorrow, or the next time I stream, whenever that may be. But we'll see. Number 11. The nice thing about this is I made these decals the exact width of the roof rails, so I don't have to paint them. I just paint the car black. Same thing with the shark fin. Like, everything else gets wrapped on these cars, except the roof rails and the shark fin. And super happy about that, because it takes the design time and the work time down. I don't really know how well this will translate to like a full stream, just working on these ones, because a lot of times I have to hold these close to me because the detail is so small. So I guess we'll kind of use this as a trial run to see, because the decals, they fight me a lot on these small cars. My intention would be to do most of the big work, like put all the roof numbers on these four, do all of the doors, probably the deck lid, some of the bigger things. I guess that's probably my aim if I were to do a 164 stream. So yeah, because you can see that took me like 2 minutes or so, 2.5 minutes, just to get that roof decal on. Even though the decal fits nicely, it still takes a little bit of work to get it to contour properly, which is annoying, but it is what it is. We're going to end the poll because we're going to end the stream here shortly. So we're going to end poll. Woohoo, Manchester United wins. All right. Well, that'll wrap up that. We'll just end it here. Hour and 55 minutes. We'll call it. All 2 of you people, you guys rock. I appreciate you being here. You know how the whole thing goes. So there we go. Got a little jump start on the car for tomorrow, number 17, or the next time I go live, whatever. So yep. Anyway, fun stream. It overall went well. This car turned out great, I think. I don't have any complaints about it. All right, I'm done. I'm out. I'm tired. It's over, boys and girls. I'm sending you off. Jim's playing like awesome. Good. I'm glad he likes it. I'll see you guys later. Have a great night.